Grace and peace, everybody. It's Dr. Wayne here. Beautiful Saturday morning in Baltimore City. God told me to stop talking bad about Baltimore and speak life. So, I'm gonna do that. But I haven't put out a video in a while, and wanted to talk about what happened in Deliverance this week. So I got an email from a person I hadn't spoken to in maybe 4 or 5 years regarding whether or not a demon can read your mind. I am to the understanding that they can. Not all of them. Some of them are designed to read your mind because the warfare that, when I say designed, I mean they have the capability. Because the warfare that they are into is to mind control, inject thoughts in your mind, formulate attacks based on the things that you're thinking. So I believe, and I have the evidence to prove, that they can. In addition to that, what did we see this week? We had a young lady who encountered a gynecologist that she thought something was strange about him, and the truth was that he was a warlock, and he targeted African American women to encourage them to destroy their bodies. In other words, their reproductive ability. And the spirit of this gynecologist, this doctor, showed up in the session. Because the question I had asked, and what we've been learning a lot lately, is part of the curse of the bastard and all of these other spirits is it's rejection. A lot of it has to do with rejection, and the different communities of color deal with different types of rejection. But the overall thing is, when you put together how many of us were born out of wedlock, we start realizing that part of what the enemy is doing is to formulate a bunch of different groups of spirits to come against people who are born under the curse, because they have access to a bunch of different areas of their life to cause destruction. And so we've been going through dealing with the curse of the bastard, dealing with the curse of adultery, and that is in Deuteronomy chapter 5, around the whole verse, the whole chapter, but around 27 is where the declaration of what this curse would be for the person caught in adultery. So we've been breaking those things, and I'm noticing that when you go through the 5 pillars and you add breaking the curse of the bastard, the demons are not happy, because we're destroying their ability to destroy life. So that is what we've noticed. What else have we noticed? Let me think about this for a second. That God wants his people to be free. He wants them really to be free. He wants them to experience a level of freedom that many of us have not. And he's working to give us a revelation through his scriptures. If you read the scriptures, listen, you can't throw away the Old Testament, because the Old Testament has everything that we need as far as foundational legalities and statutes on how the enemy uses what we have discarded as biblical truth to use it against us, because these things are established in the laws, and they use what's established in the laws to keep us in bondage, because we've been taught somewhere Jesus came and fulfilled the law, therefore none of it is relevant. That's true. Jesus did come to fulfill the law, but the enemy is using the law in our ignorance, because we've transgressed, to use it against us. And I've said this before, but the more revelation we get, the more that it rings true. Is that the enemy loves to water down what it means for us to be believers, because it allows him to operate in our lives. And any transgression that God has warned us about, any sin that God has warned us about, I'm starting to see the direct correlation of the demonic activity in the person's life based on those things that we have transgressed. Listen, the whole sex thing is huge. We don't believe it. It is huge. It is, my opinion, the biggest opening door for demonic activity in anybody's life, because it can go so many different ways or places. I don't know how you want to talk about it, but it can transmit into a bunch of different ways. And so when God gives us these prohibitive things, we start seeing that he's really just trying to make sure that we could be free. And so that's it for the week. I'm going to edit this as soon as I can, hopefully today, and I'll get this out to you. Announcement: all of the books are available in audio form on Amazon, and they will be available in French and Spanish as well, both in audio, both in Kindle format and the paperback. So I want you to look out for that. And so if you have loved ones that you know that speak these languages and they don't speak English, now they're not prohibited from reading the information that God has charged us to release. So that's it for this Saturday morning. I'm going to see you guys next week.